Hello, YouTube. It's your boy, the Passport Bro Wingman, coming at you again with another YouTube video.
You
And the
win.
title of this video is called Passport Bros Salute Marques Houston, successfully married to his wife of 2 years, who's 21. Marques Houston is 41 years old. And this is the 7 benefits of dating an older man. And the way this came about was I was watching several different content creators critique this whole thing about, Marques Houston, dating like a younger woman. And I was looking at it from various angles. And really what was so weird about this whole situation is that they had already been married for a while now. They had already been going on like 2 years successfully. Because actually at the time he was 39, she was 19. There was a big backlash about it for some reason because, I guess it was a lot of women his same age that thought he's supposed to wind up marrying them, but instead he decided to go young. For some reason, it's always like a huge issue whenever a man is dating somebody who's like, much younger than himself. Even though, if you remember that recent situation with that soccer player dating that woman, she was actually older than him. No one really said anything. You have Brittany Renner, who was out, I think she was in her late 20s when she was dating a basketball player. People didn't really say much about that. There's a show called Stacy and Darcy that comes on. I believe it's the same channel that 90 Day Fiance comes on. So anyway, she's on that show. She dates plenty of younger men. This woman is in her 40s dating men who are like 25 years old. Nobody cares. I think there was also another show, trying to remember. It was a show where there's a bunch of like MILFs dating all these younger men. No one says anything about that. If that show was the reverse, where it was a bunch of older men dating all these young women, that show would have been canceled a long time ago. People were constantly critiquing Leonardo DiCaprio, saying when he's going to settle down, he needs to just settle down. And all this is really, in my opinion, a lot of, Johnson envy. A lot of women being jealous of men that we have, like that even in our late years, we still can, we still have options even later in our life that we're not like tied down to a timeline, like themselves. So I just really think it's a lot of jealousy. And the thing about this was, there was a lot of people I thought was actually going to support him on this situation. It was a lot of guys in general I saw actually had some negative stuff to say. Which I actually was surprised. Now, the only thing I can kind of somewhat get with them on is they're trying to say that the reason a lot of times they don't really like dating younger women is because their mind is like in a completely different place than where they are at their point in life. So they can't really. It's difficult for them to date anybody that young because they still want to go out and have a good time and go to the clubs and do all this kind of stuff, and they're just not, I guess, mature enough to be around them, which I understand. So in that case, it's somewhat valid. I would say to each his own. My whole thing is I'm just against all these people constantly Johnson policing men, especially black men, just wondering what we're doing with our like who constantly wondering about who we sleeping with, who we're dating, and all that kind of stuff. I'm just so tired of that. I just wish more men would support other men. A lot of this has to stop. This is just getting out of control. Anyway, the reason I brought up this topic as well is because, as a passport bro, me personally, my fiance is actually about like 12 years younger than myself. And technically, I think they used to say the rule was half your age at 7 or something like that. So, anyway, getting back on topic, I totally support the brother. There's many brothers. For example, there's a guy in Cali, Colombia. I believe his name is Andre. I think it's like Andre from Colombia with love or something like that. So anyway, he's a passport bro. He has a YouTube channel. And anyway, he recently showed us pictures of him and his wife. I think he was around 50 when he met his wife, and she was around like 23 at the time. There's several passport bros I've seen. In fact, there actually was a guy not recently, but maybe like a few months back, there was a guy in Thailand, I believe he was in his 70s, and he was dating a woman who was in her 20s, either her 20s or early 30s, and that kind of thing. So what I want to try to do in this video, without dragging it out too long, is I kind of want to tell you the benefits of dating an older man. And here's the good thing. I actually was doing some research, doing some articles, and I'm actually going to tell you from a woman's perspective of the benefits of dealing with an older man. And I'm actually going to leave a link to this article in the description. And this is a woman from her page. Her page is called, it's a website called love.allwomenstalk.com. And it's a woman in here who's dating a guy who's 29 years her senior. And she talked about how, like, you know, throughout the article, people trying to call like a gold digger, calling him like a cradle robber and all the stuff like that. And she talks about how she's like has dealt with this. And she talks about like the benefits that she has of dating an older man and why she's happy in her relationship dating an older man. And so she listed out seven benefits of dating a older man. I'm gonna go through those 7 benefits and I'm gonna speak on them a little bit, and then I'm gonna wrap up this video, and we're gonna move on from there. So anyway, number 1, she said one of the benefits is you have a personal storyteller. As an older man myself, going through life now, I'm almost at 40 years of age. You know, I could talk about my many experiences with college, work. I've been in IT space now for like over 10 years. College, I switched several different majors. Worked various different multiple jobs throughout my year. I just have a lot of different experience that I can share with my significant other, with my fiance, and I can tell her about what it was like, you know, back in college, working in, fast food restaurants, being a delivery driver, being a groundskeeper. I worked a lot of different jobs, so I have a lot to kind of talk about, and just some. And I've worked for several different types of bosses. Just in general, I feel that older men, we have a whole lot more. And no offense to the youth, to Austin Holloman and those groups, no offense to you. There are benefits to dating young people as well. So this is not shade at you. This is just, me putting some respect on the name of older men who date younger women. Me just putting respect on giving some respect to older men and explaining why it is a benefit to some women to date an older man and what we have to offer. Just like if this was a job interview, the younger man going to present what they have to offer. We're going to present what we have to offer. And of course, me and myself, just remember when I was 18, 19 years old, at that point, I'm in school. I'm just starting out my career. I really don't have a whole lot of experience. There are some stories, but you won't. I can assure you, when you reach almost my age, you're almost at 40 years old, you're going to have so many stories, so much wisdom to give people. And it's just really an added benefit to women who date you because, any little struggle they have, whether they're working or just in general dealing with family members, you have a lot of different stories that you can tell them. So that's the number 1 benefit, she said. So the thing, it's not in order. She just listed out 7 different benefits. So this is not the best benefit, but she's just saying that this is one of the first she wanted to start with. So that's number 1. So the next benefit she talks of is you don't need to do the half and half. So, so basically what you're trying to say is, and this has came up a lot of times, some women have been complaining about the 50-50 dates and that kind of stuff, saying there's a lot of guys saying, they want to do you pay half of the bill, we pay half of the bill. And what she's saying is that generally when you date older men, and this goes for a lot of and really some younger passport bros as well, whenever we go overseas, most of the time, and I can't speak for all passport bros, but generally we'll foot the bill, and obviously for some of the reasons is because obviously our dollar is very strong there, so we'll foot the whole bill. And here's the little secret as well. Even in the States, me myself, I never really had issue paying the full bill, and I don't think most guys in general have an issue either. Our issue was this: there have been a lot of dine and dash women who will just use dudes for dinners. They'll use them for their dinners. Immediately, they have no interest of going home with these guys, becoming their girlfriend, going on other dates. This is just This is just for them to eat for the day. That's all they're really doing. They have no interest in the guys at all. So what men did is they got smart and said, okay, you know what? How about we just go on coffee dates? Or how about we do 50-50? That's where a lot of that came from. So now, are there some men who are just cheap, and even though the woman is interested, he still wants to make her pay 50-50? Of course, of course. Because as I said before, you remember when you're younger, you're just getting out of college. When I first got out of college, I had a difficult time initially getting a job. So I had to really go back to restaurant work. I was working at McDonald's as soon as I got out. It took about maybe like 2 years or so before I finally got started in my field. Originally, I started out as a teacher. So originally starting out, it was very hard for me to find work. I had to go back to some of the stuff I was doing in college, which was just working in restaurants and that kind of thing. So obviously at that time, I can't really splurge on a woman the way I can now, being in the IT space, me making well over 100 figures, Like, of course, now it's nothing for me to like take a woman out. I can actually take a woman out several times per week and still be fine, you know. So, but back then it's understandable that I can't really splurge on her like that. We can't be going to these restaurants, $100 dinner dates every week. That's not gonna work. So in some cases, you know, we might have to do, hate to say it, let's go to my place. We have, we get some pizza or we do something like that. So tying back to her second point, which I can agree on, is now because most of us at this age have been well into our career, we're starting to hit our stride. The thing is, there's no more 50-50 dates. As long as we know that the woman is interested in us, especially as passport bros, especially when we go overseas, we know that women are very sincere in their interests. We have no problem at all paying the whole meal for the woman. She doesn't have to pay anything. In many cases, sometimes let's just say I paid a dinner. Turns out we're not compatible. It falls apart. It is what it is. You're not gonna be compatible with every woman. In that case, I still paid a date. I don't feel any bad about it. It is what it is. So I agree with her point number 2 is that older men in general, we don't do the 50-50 thing. We don't have to, especially passport bros. That American dollar is really working in our favor, so we don't have to do that. So that's her number 2 point. Number 3, she said, you are rewarded with a great lover. And this is true because basically what she's saying is that by that age, we've had multiple experiences with various different women. So by the time that woman comes along, we don't have any problem knowing how to please them in the bed. You making sure that they're satisfied. Especially passport bros. Like I said, we've gone on several different dates. I don't want to, talk about, a lot of times guys talk about like body count and that kind of thing. I don't want to necessarily kiss and tell, but I've had I have more than a good amount, so especially being a passport bro where like, when you go down some of these countries, these women almost make it their mission to make sure that you're like satisfied in the bedroom. They want to make sure that man is well taken care of. They know they have lots of competition, so they want to make sure that you're satisfied. And as a result, I've gained lots of experience. So have many other older men, even the ones in the States, but especially I would say passport bros, even some of the younger passport bros. Shout out to Austin Holloman. I know when he went to Brazil, we talked about initially when his channel started off, we talked about all the different experiences he had. So especially if you're a passport bro, even the younger ones, you're going to have a lot of experience to give back. So it's no shade at the younger passport bros or younger men in general. But just as a key benefit of a woman dating an older man is that we do know how to please a woman very well. And I do understand that me being about, I'm 39. I'm not excessively, I'm not, put it away, old to some people, but not old to some people. I'm banging on the door of middle age, but I'm not up there yet where it's like I'm older man. But either way, shout out to the men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s who are still out there dating or have a wife and so forth. But either way, as you know, experience comes with age. As we go up in there more and more, especially men who've been married, you and your wife, y'all been at it, sexually in the bedroom, you've kind of gained a skill set. So next time you get a woman, you kind of really know how to please her. So again, number 3 is older men. We are great lovers in the bedroom. Now, obviously, we can't speak for all. I know there's some anomaly out there, and she might say, "Oh, well, he was like this, blah blah blah." But in general, experience comes with age. So that's number three. Is that older men, we tend to make very great lovers to a lot of you younger women, and we can show you a few things. I could definitely show you a few things. I have a lot of experience over the years, and I'm willing to teach the women a few things, and same for a lot of my pastor brothers as well. I'm sure that a lot of you guys out there have a few things to teach the ladies as well in the bedroom and get them kind of, spiced up, that kind of thing. So that's number three. Now, number four, she said, he would say, "I love you." "I love you" is expressed in so many different forms. What she's saying is a lot of times with her older man, he's doing like a lot of little sweet things, like sending text messages, delivering flowers. He's on time when he's picking her up. He's spoiling her. He's kind of, yeah, for the most part, he's spoiling her. He's taking care of her. He's showering her with gifts and love. And here's the thing. One of the reasons he's saying that you can do that is because, once again, as I said before, at this age, you're at a point in your career where you're making more money. You're at your stride state. You have excess money. So now you can actually, if you find a woman you like, you can really spoil her and take care of her and look after her and that kind of thing. Now, not to say some of the younger men can't do this as well, because I know there's plenty of guys listening right now who are probably in their early 20s, early 30s, that kind of thing. And they're just saying like, well, most of the girls I've tried to do that, but the women always wind up either trying to take advantage, treat you like you're a trick, that kind of thing. So I completely understand that. Like I was the same way. Like my thing is, which is why I became a passport bro, because when you go overseas, a lot of times these women, they're not spoiled. A lot of their men tend to be very spoiled. So the women, they don't really get, in many cases, they're not spoiled to the degree that the women are in the States, because the men in those countries, they kind of have their pick of the litter when it comes to women, because they bring in the money. A lot of these, put it this way, the men run the countries, and the men run things in these countries. So a lot of times the men have lots of options, and a lot of times the women are not really spoiled or really, they don't have men here and there whining and dining for the most part, because men don't really have to do that if they want to get something from them, So what I'm saying is, a lot of times when you go there, these women, they're going to be very, very appreciative when you're able to take them out to nice dates, when you're able to, do things nice for them on their birthday. You're sending them texts throughout, throughout the night, sending them texts throughout the day, let them, send them texts in the morning, just saying things like, hope you have a good day at work. Now, obviously, you can't do that in the States because the women are so spoiled. If you do stuff like that, what do they start to call you? They start to call you creepy, desperate. He's all up under me. He's too nice of a guy. And that's because in the States, it's the opposite. The women are spoiled with male attention. All she has to really do is open up an Instagram page, go on Tinder, get all the affection and love that she wants. So by the time you come and try to spoil her, it's just overdone. It just seems to her desperate, and she can't really appreciate it. So, which is why I just once again, to all the guys out there listening, if you consider yourself somewhat of a decent guy and you have no problem taking care of your woman, I definitely would say you need to get your passport up and definitely go out to, like I said, go to Brazil, go to Colombia, especially go to Thailand, the Philippines. They would love you out there. They're really looking for a nice guy that's going to show them a good time, take care of them. Like I said, send them those nice little texts in the morning. Hope you have a good day at work, nighttime, sweet dreams, that kind of thing. Especially in their language, they're definitely going to love you for that. So, so she's basically saying that number four is that, as we've gotten older and we've done more dating, we found more and more creative ways to kind of take care of our woman and, just let her know that we, to make her feel special. I guess that's the biggest thing. We found very creative ways over the way. Once again, with age comes experience. So that's number four. So leading into number five, she said, we'll make her feel like the woman gets to feel like she's his second shot at life. And you'll say, what do you mean by that? For example, there's a lot of passport bros who are like 50 years of age, in their 40s. that kind of thing. They had just got out of this nasty American divorce. They married some woman. They were younger. Woman put them on child support, broke their heart, maybe cheated on another guy, ran off, and they thought love was all gone. And it wasn't until they got that passport, they got that plane ticket, and they went off to the Philippines, and they found that nice, feminine, sweet woman who just wants to find a decent traditional man who can take care of them, help her raise a family that she can cook for every day. And once those men found that woman, just like this woman said, they treated her like she was their second shot at life. They were able to rebuild their life. They felt like they had a completely second chance. There's numerous receipts of passport bros starting their second shot at life, finding a woman overseas, marrying them, gaining hope again that, all women aren't the same. While the women in the States, a lot of them are kind of falling apart and year by year getting worse and worse. There's still plenty of decent women overseas. There's no perfect women, but there's a lot of them overseas that still fit that vision in your mind of what a marriage, of how a wife should be, how you thought a marriage would be. There's a woman over there that will give you that second shot at life, and she'll be everything that you thought, she'll bring to the marriage everything you thought a woman in marriage should bring. So that's what she's trying to say here, is that a lot of times when these older men are dating young women, we treat them like they're like our second chance of life. And keep in mind that the young woman as well, she's very fertile, so she also can provide him a family. So that's obviously the contrast between younger woman and like a woman who's past, her 40s, that kind of thing, is that with this younger woman, we actually have a second chance at a family because she's still in her prime years. And so that's what overall she was trying to say with number 5. Now, number 6, and this is a really good one as well. She said the number 6 benefit of being with an older man is financial discussions get better with him. What she's trying to say here is that as we get older, not only do we make more money and we're at our stride, we're at like our peak, and we start to be at our peak at our careers. But because many of us, when we're younger, we might have made some silly financial decisions, got a bunch of credit cards, ran up debt, try to get houses, try to get cars, try to do write-offs on credit cards. We have a huge amount of knowledge on how to help her manage her credit, how to build her wealth, how to how to keep from going into debt. How to pretty much, move in her career, how to, apply for not only apply for jobs, but how to get those promotions, how to negotiate. So we have lots and lots of wisdom and knowledge just from our careers of teaching this woman and being her mentor. So basically what she's trying to say is that as far as financially, we can really be great mentors to younger women and teach them how to financially stand, especially in these economies where, you see like people getting laid off left and right. Interest rates are going up. You got, it's just a lot of financial issues going on in the United States right now. But pretty much, as we know, whenever something happens in the States, it kind of goes across the countries. It kind of goes across, all countries are somewhat affected. So what he's just trying to say is that because we've had much experience financially and we've seen recessions, we've seen when the countries have been in surplus, we kind of know how to prepare for these kind of things. We can kind of help them make very, very good financial decisions. So a lot of times the younger women will really benefit from that versus, and no disregard to like the younger men, but what she's just trying to say is that, as I said before, with age comes experience and much knowledge. And because we've been through a lot, we're able to kind of give them a little bit of an edge when it comes to making these financial decisions. Not to say that a younger man can't do it as well. Not trying to throw shade at my younger passport bros, and then just the younger men in general. We got to kind of stay on code. As I said, in this country, there's a lot of attacks against men in general, regardless of age. So that's number 6. And her last point in general is just that she said you become a better person because you're with him. And what she's just saying is that when she's experiencing things such as, just in general, stuff happens at a job, stuff happens with her friends, Her mom might have died. She might have a friend that betrayed her. She might be going through a a portion of her life where she's dealing with a lot of depression. She's trying to in her career, she's trying to get to that next level. Some of her friends are outdoing her. So the thing is, by us having many, many years of experience, going through rough times, having periods when we've been depressed, when we've been upped, having people betray us, having people stick by us, dealing with people on like a relationship level, whether it's friends or business, we can kind of really comfort them when they're having a down day. Maybe she's depressed about at work, she really bombed. And we can really at that point tell them a story about the time we did horribly at work and uplift her. And as she said, it's making her turn into a better person because she's knowing how to be more disciplined. She's knowing how to be more emotionally stable. She feels more comforted. We're able to give her that encouragement and give her that encouragement to kind of move forward in life, to be strong on her job. And basically that's what she's trying to say, is that that's something that older men can really give to a lot of the younger women, is that we give a lot of security and comfort, and also help them, security and comfort, and we really help them stay stable. And so it's so that's overall from what I've read, this is what number 7 is mainly focusing on. So there you go. There you have the 7 benefits of being in a relationship with a older man. And not to be off topic, because then one can say, does this also apply the reverse way? Like, are there benefits of a younger man being with a older woman? And I'm not saying that there aren't or there are any. I mean, to each his own. But the issue is, usually the problem is going to come in when that man decides that he wants to have children. He has to make a decision at some point whether or not he wants to have children. If he does want to have children, then the fact that her age at that point will become a problem at some point. So that's one of the biggest factors you got to deal with. And also consider that as that man comes of age, as he becomes in his 30s, 40s, he's going to start having women checking for him. His value is going to go up. And with this woman now being older than him, it's going to be very difficult for her to compete with these younger women. So that's the caveat with that. I'm not saying it's not possible. I have heard of some dudes who want like sugar mamas and that kind of thing. But in my personal opinion, it doesn't work as well. In general, men tend to like age like wine. And I'm not saying that women necessarily age poorly, but what I'm trying to say is that it generally doesn't work out as well in the opposite direction. In general, as they get older, tend to have a harder time finding a spouse, even a spouse their own age, because a lot of times the older men, as you can see, even some of the younger women are checking for us. So, that's all I'm going to say on that video, right on that topic right now. I might try to make a separate video to kind of discuss the opposite, but I don't want to keep this video too long. I've already kind of drug it out a lot. But anyway, I salute Marques Houston. My only suggestion would be to a lot of guys out there is they go with your heart. If you find a woman that's younger than you, 20 years, 30 years younger than you, as long as she's of legal age, you guys are in love, don't give a F about what anybody else has to say. It's about your happiness. At the end of the day, stop trying to make other people happy who don't care anything about you. You need to be focused on your own happiness. The only thing that may get some guys in trouble is, as in his case, they're trying to say he knew her when she was younger and now she's older. It's almost like watching somebody's younger sister go from being a kid to like adult, and then you trying to date them. It just looks very weird. Once again, okay, I can kind of see what they're saying, but at the end of the day, who cares? Like, I mean, really, who cares? Legal is legal. I wouldn't do that. Like, most people wouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, they're legal. What does it matter? That's my whole situation. If the roles were reversed, I don't think anybody would have said anything. Just to be honest, think about all these teachers right now who've been caught doing stuff with their students. And you know that the backlash against this is nowhere as near as it would have been if the roles were reversed. I'm going to leave it at that. So you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. What do you think about, Marques Houston dating his younger wife, or men in general doing this? Like, I have no problem with it. I actually salute these guys. Salute to you, Marques Houston. Keep doing your thing. You're successful. F what the haters got to say. So yeah, if you have never subscribed to my channel before, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you can hear about my next video. I'm trying to put these out sooner, more and more videos. And please tell me what you think in the comments about this whole situation. Tell me what you think. Let me know your opinion. Yeah, share the video. And until next time, this is your boy, the Passport Bro Wingman, signing off.